sex stuff and Christian stuff kind of look the same. Because when you turn on cable TV, it never fails. When you tune in and see an almost beautiful girl almost acting on a set that looks almost realistic, Cannibal knows that her story will end by her being either touched by an angel, or she'll get a heaping helping of hot baby gravy sliding down one side of her face. Because of that, Cannibal, he's already sporting a spam javelin when Marcia Sanders looks at him in American Civics one day. No matter how he tries to hide it, his skin is polka dot with goosebumps because he's been trying to remember that hard-boiled diner talk yelled through a little window, the way the Catholics line up in church to talk dirty through their own little window. Because no matter how they call it, dirty talk made Cannibal drool. Those words picturing a whisker biscuit like those lunch meat curtains kids talk about when they really mean a camel toe souffle. In middle school, when they grade you on community spirit, they mean, do you cheer at pep rallies and football games? And when kids joke about Cannibal, they're talking about that one time when Marcia Sanders was a senior about to graduate. Because she was such a stone fox, she was the most popular, and she was the head yell leader, because she was the class president, because she was such a dish. Because she had nothing in fourth period. She was the TA in American Civics when she coached Cannibal. Because Cannibal was only in 7th grade, and because she knew that he would never say no because he was so stoned on puberty. Marcia Sanders, she's all, you like my hair, don't you? And her head rolls to the side to swing her hair like a spaghetti cape, and she goes, this is the longest my hair's ever been. The way that she says this sounds dirty, because everything sounds dirty when it comes out of a sexy girl's mouth. And because Cannibal doesn't know any better, Cannibal agrees to reconnoiter with Marcia Sanders at her house, because Mr. and Mrs. Sanders are gone to the lake this weekend. And she only asks him because she says her boyfriend, the team captain of every sport, he won't put her on like a gas mask. This is her. She's this is Marcia Sanders. She says, you really want to do me, kid? And because Cannibal has no idea what she means, he says, yeah. And because she says to come by her house after dark on Saturday and come to the kitchen door because she has a reputation to uphold. And because Marcia Sanders says he can be her secret boyfriend, Cannibal doesn't think twice. Because at Jefferson Middle School, when they grade you on good citizenship, they mean, do you wash your hands after launching a corn canoe? Because half the time, Cannibal doesn't know what he's thinking. He goes on Saturday night. And Marcia Sanders holds the bedspread back on the king-size waterbed in her parents' bedroom. She spreads 2 layers of bath towels across the waterbed and says to make sure his head goes in the middle of them. She says not to take his clothes off. But Cannibal figures that comes later, because she unzips her jeans and pulls them over the back of a chair, and because he's looking at her panties so hard, she says to shut his eyes. And because Cannibal only pretends not to peek, he sees her kneel on the padded rail at the edge of the waterbed, and he can see why it's called a ham wallet. And after that, he can't see Jack, because she slings one leg over his face. Then she squats down until the room is nothing but fish taco, blotting out everything, except the underwater sound of Marcia Sanders' voice telling me what to do next. Cannibal finds himself sunk head deep in waterbed, and with sloppy waterbed mattress squeezed up around his ears, hearing the lap of ocean waves. Cannibal's body is rocking from head to toe, hearing its heartbeat, hearing somebody's heartbeat. Because Marcia Sanders, out of nowhere, her voice tells him, suck already, you stupid dummy. So Cannibal sucks. Because she says, let's get this over with. He sucks like he's giving her insides a big hickey. Cannibal can't put up a fight because when kids say that his legs are thick as tree trunks, they're talking about willow trees. And when the 700 Club talks about a delightful, inspiring life story, this ain't that, because the harder the Cannibal sucks, the harder it gets, because the suction is sucking him back, because he's battling her wet insides in this tug of war over nothing. Cannibal is wearing Marcia Sanders like a gas mask, sucking on her like she's a so earmuffed tight to the sides of his head that he can't see why she's screaming. Because on the Playboy network, screaming is what you strive for. Cannibal is freaked out because a blue waffle on cable TV only smells like whatever your mom's cooking. Because a ham olive on television never fights back. Cannibal sucks the way a tornado on the Weather Channel will bust one window and turn your entire house inside out. Because Cannibal's never eaten a muff pie. He thinks that the waterbed sprung a leak because he hears a pop inside of his head. It's like your ears pop when you ride a fast elevator to the top of the Empire State Building. Like when you snap your chewing gum or when you bite down on a ripe cherry tomato. Cannibal figures that the mattress is popped because what happens next is he's coughing water that tastes like tears because it's gallons, like Tammy Faye Baker's cried 100 years inside his mouth. And because Cannibal's never chowed down on a blue waffle, the next thing he knows is that he's killed her because it's her insides gushing down his throat. Because she's hollering like a truck stop diner. All this happens in not even 2 heartbeats. Because he's watched the Playboy network, the next thing Cannibal knows is that he made her gusher buckets of hot lady soup straight down his gullet. Because he's seen those videos where guys are from jerking off, big spoons like animal-headed whales spouting, or those fireboats hosing down the Statue of Liberty during bicentennial moment. Because he's seen their big sprays of lady gravy soaking into the orange cheese-colored shag carpet they always have in Playboy movies. Cannibal knows enough about lady juice not to spit it out. Because the worst way to insult somebody is not to swallow what she's serving up. Because his only experience with lady sauce is from cable TV. Cannibal doesn't realize that there's a chunk of something solid mixed in, not right away. Because bumping between his tongue and the roof of his mouth right now is his salt-flavored jelly bean. It's like a kidney bean that tastes like water in a jar of pickles. It's knocking around like the last green olive in a jar of boiling hot olive water. And because it's so small, Cannibal just gulps it down. Because half the time, Cannibal doesn't know what he's thinking. He says, "You did it." And Marcia Sanders is fishing a fresh cotton pony out from her purse, and she goes, "I swear I didn't know." And she never even takes her top off, and already she's zipping up her jeans, and Cannibal goes, "I made you come." And she opens her mouth, but doesn't say anything because then the doorbell rings, and it's her real boyfriend. Because Cannibal makes Marcia Sanders geyser so hard that she has to take a Tylenol and strap on a pussy plug. Cannibal knows that he is a stud. Because then Marcia Sanders must brag to Linda Reynolds, because Linda Reynolds signs up to her outside the chemistry module, and she asks if he can be her secret boyfriend too. Because Cannibal gobbles meat muffins so good, Patty Watson wants a piece of his action. Because he makes every fur burger spout heaping helpings of special sauce. Because the quickest way to a woman's heart is through a man's stomach. Because how far would a high schooler go to get back to the rest of her life? And because Cannibal is giving everybody another shot at being a virgin. He's everybody's dirty little secret, except he's not so secret. And because he's not so little, not anymore, because Cannibal is getting fat on the mistakes that high schoolers make. It's Marcia Sanders who says that they have to shut him up. Linda Reynolds campaigns to meet Cannibal behind the vocational training modules with a swift tire iron to the back of his head some Friday night. Because Cannibal's strutting around too smart for his own good, but too dumb to know that he is total evil. Because now, when Cannibal belches, it's poor choice that he's tasting. And when Cannibal farts, that's a smell of her parents' dead grandbaby. Because if you believe Pat Robertson on the 700 Club, Jesus one time bade a legion of unclean spirits to leave an afflicted man, and those spirits went into a herd of swine, because then those swine had to drown themselves by throwing themselves over a cliff into the Sea of Galilee. Because even the priests who eat sins through the kitchen window of Catholic Church, even when they're filled up, even they have to be burned at the stake. That's why why a scapegoat goes to slaughter. Because if you believe in evolution, then the world is just everybody prancing down a yellow brick road in Technicolor singing because. But the real truth is in the Old Testament, where the 7 tribes wander around lost, always saying, begat. Because the upside is that maybe cannibal will go to heaven, since except for his mouth, he's still a virgin. Because at this school, no matter who the team captains pick, now it's always not a cannibal, who personifies that thing that eventually comes for all of us. So we say, give us seatbelts, and give us pap smears, and we'll take poverty, and we'll take old age. Just don't let cannibal come stand next to us. Don't let cannibal's shadow fall over our house. And choosing sides, the captain of the red team says, we will give you our best pitcher. And we'll take the kid who picks his nose and eats it. And we'll take the kid who smells like piss. And we'll take the leper and the left-handed Satanist and the AIDS-infected hemophiliac and the hermaphrodite and the pedophile. We'll take drug addiction and we'll take JPEGs of the world instead of the world. And we'll take MP3s instead of music. And we'll trade real life for sitting at a keyboard. And we'll spot you happiness. And we'll spot you humanity. And we'll sacrifice mercy. Just so long as you keep cannibal at bay. Because Marcia Sanders, she doesn't begat anything. Because of that, her real boyfriend graduates and gets to go to Michigan State for an accounting degree. Because of all of this, Patty Watson makes a date to meet cannibal on a Friday night behind the vocational building. And Linda Reynolds says that she'll get a crowbar, and they all agree to wear latex gloves. Because maybe after that, they can all go back to playing games once cannibal is gone. That's what